Hello everyone, today's lesson is all about statistics. In this chapter, the students are expected to calculate the mean, median, and mode of a set of data and under what conditions they are most appropriate to be used. Second, calculate the range, variance, and standard deviation. Third, plot a scatter diagram, measure and interpret the relationship between the two variables, and lastly, predict or estimate values of dependent variable from known values of independent variables. And the topics to be discussed in this chapter are measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, linear correlation, and simple linear regression. So the question is, what is statistics? The word statistics have two major definitions, a singular form and a plural form. Statistics, in a plural sense, refers to the data itself or to some numerical computations derived from a set of data that are systematically collected and analyzed. In a singular sense, statistics refers to the scientific discipline consisting of the theory and methods for processing collection of quantitative and qualitative data useful when making decisions in the face of uncertainty. Before we will go through, let us define population and sample and give some illustration for you to understand it more. Population is the collection of all units from which data is to be collected, while sample is a subset of the population. For example, if the data to be collected are the test results in JEC-14, the smallest unit under investigation is a JEC-14 student, and the population is the set of all students who are taking JEC-14. From this population, we will randomly select some students, and that is the sample. The first topic in this chapter is the measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency is a numerical value that summarizes a set of observations into a single value, and that value may be used to represent the entire population. There are three measures of The first measures of central tendency is the arithmetic mean, often called the average. It is the most popular measures of central tendency. It is the sum of a set of observations divided by the number of observations in the set. This measure is appropriate for data in interval or ratio scale. The computing formulas of the mean are as follows. The population mean. Population mean is denoted as mu is equal to 1 over n times the summation of x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n. The big N here is the population size, and the x sub I is a set of observations. So this formula is used for population data. So in most application, the population mean is unknown, and a sample is gathered to try to estimate its value. And that is the sample mean. The sample mean is denoted as x bar is equal to 1 over n times the summation of x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n. The small n here is the sample size, and x sub I is the set of observations. Sometimes we want to attach more significance to some observations, and weights are used to emphasize them. A sample mean, which provide a relative importance to the individual observations, is the weighted mean. Weighted mean is denoted as x bar is equal to the summation of w sub I times x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to k, over the summation of w sub I, where I is equal to 1 to k, where w sub I is the weights of each of the k distinct observation, and x sub I is the set of observations. So, an example of the weighted mean is the grade point average, or the GPA, which is the summary of your academic performance for a particular semester. For the GPA, the grades per subject are the observations, and the numbers of units of each subject are the weights. Next is median. Median is the middle value of a set of observations arranged in an increasing or decreasing order of magnitude, denoted by x tilde. This measure is appropriate for data in ordinal scale. Median is a positional value, and unlike the arithmetic mean, it is not affected by the presence of extreme values. When abnormal values or outliers are present, it is preferable to use the median rather than the mean. So these are the computing formulas of the median. The computation of the median depends on the ordered observations and the number of observations. If the total number of observations is odd, then the median is the middle value. And if it is even, then the median is the average of two middle values. Next is mode. Mode is defined as the value which occur the greatest number of times or the value with the greatest frequency. It is an appropriate measure for a nominal or categorical type of data. Please take note that if the observations occur with equal frequency, then there is no modal value for the data set. Like for instance, 75, 90, 89, 95, and 88. In this observation, there is no modal value. Why? Because the observations occur with equal frequency. The next topic is measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion is a numerical value computed from the given observations. Measures how this spreads from the central location. So this is often used in comparing two sets of data. So the lesser the measure is, the closer the values of the observations from the central value. The common measures of the dispersion are the range, the standard deviation, and the variance. Among the different measures of dispersion or variability, the range is the simplest to understand, and it is also easy to compute. The range of a set of observations is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value in the set, and it is denoted by R, where R is equal to the highest value minus the lowest value. Another measure of variability or dispersion that is frequently used is the variance. The variance considers the deviation of each observation from the mean, and the computing formulas are defined below. For population variance, denoted as sigma squared, is equal to the summation of the quantity of x sub I minus mu quantity squared over n, or sigma squared is equal to the summation of x sub I squared minus n times mu squared over n, where sigma squared is a population variance, then x sub I is a set of observations, then mu is the population mean, and the big N is the population size. So this formula is used for population data. Also, given the random sample x sub 1 to x sub n, the sample variance is given by S squared is equal to the summation of the quantity of x sub I minus x bar quantity squared over n minus 1, or S squared is equal to n times the summation of x sub I squared minus the quantity of x sub I quantity squared over n times the quantity of n minus 1, where n is the sample size and x sub I is the set of observations and x bar is the sample mean. So please take note that variance can never be a negative number, and a large variance corresponds to a highly dispersed set of values. Next is the standard deviation. Standard deviation is the positive square root of the variance. A smaller standard deviation indicates that the data set tends to be closer to the mean, and the population standard deviation is denoted as sigma. Sigma is equal to the positive square root of sigma squared, and the sample standard deviation is denoted as S, is equal to the positive square root of S squared. So take note that population standard deviation is for population data and sample standard deviation is for sample data. For example, The following are the IQ scores of a random sample of 20 senior high school students enrolled at CMU. The results are recorded below: 110, 101, up to 103. So we have to calculate the following: the mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, and range. Before we will proceed to our solutions, we have to analyze the given data first. So since it is a random sample, so meaning this data is a sample data, and we will use formulas for sample data. And for our sample mean is equal to 1 over n times the summation of x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n, where n is equal to 20, so 1 over 20 times, when we expand this one, it becomes x sub 1, x sub 2, plus up to x sub 20. So the observation 1 is this one, observation 2, observation 3, observation 4, up to observation 20. So 1 over 20 times 110 plus 101 up to 103. So we have to sum all of this, then divide it by 20. So the answer is 99.75. Hence, the average IQ score of 20 senior high school students enrolled at CMU is 99.75. So for our median, we have to arrange the data in ascending order. So this is the arrangement of the data in ascending order: 87, 90, 95, up to 110. So this is your new set of observation. So this is your x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, x sub 4, x sub 5, x sub 6, x sub 7, x sub 8, x sub 9, x sub 10, x sub 11, x sub 12, x sub 13, x sub 14, x sub 15, x sub 16, x sub 17, x sub 18, x sub 19, up to 20. Okay, since n is even, that is n is equal to 20, the median is the average of two middle values. So the two middle values are the 10th observation and the 11th observation. Hence, the median, denoted as tilde, is equal to x sub 10 plus x sub 11 divided by 2, where x sub 10 is equal to 100 and x sub 11 is equal to 100 divided by 2. So 100 plus 100 is equal to 200 divided by 2 is equal to 100. So the median is 100. So for our mode, since 100 occurs 3 times, then our mode is 100 because 100 has the greatest frequency among all observations. For our sample variance, we have s squared is equal to n times the summation of x sub I squared, where I is equal to 1 to n, minus the quantity of summation of x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n quantity squared, over n times the quantity of n minus 1. So where n is 20, so 20 times, so squared is square sa ninyo kada usa, then I na din isam. So 110 squared plus 101 squared plus up to 103 squared minus 110 plus 101 plus up to 103 squared over 20 times 20 minus 1, Okay, if we compute this one using the calculator, so we have 28.20. Hence, the variance is 28.20. So for our sample standard deviation, we have S is equal to the positive square root of S squared. Your S squared, or the sample variance, is equal to 28.20. So the square root of 28.20 is equal to 5.31. Hence, the standard deviation is 5.31. And for our range, we have range is equal to the highest value minus the lowest value. So, in this data, the highest value is 110. And the lowest value is 87. So, the difference between 110 and 87 is equal to 23. Hence, the range is 23. So, take note. So, for calculators with stat mode, computation of the measure like the mean, variance, and standard deviation are possible. So, you have to refer to your manual or search it at YouTube and calculate the given example, then compare the results. In this chapter is linear correlation. Correlation analysis attempts to measure the strength of the relationship between two random variables by means of a single number called correlation coefficient. So these two random variables are x and y variables. So x is also known as the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. So the estimated sample correlation coefficient between x and y, denoted by r, is given by this formula, where n is the sample size. This one is the sum of the product of the corresponding x and y values. Then this one is the sum of x values. This one is the sum of y values. This one is the sum of the squares of x values. This one is the sum of the squares of y values. So you have to compute this one in order for you to solve or to find the value of r. So the value of r ranges from -1 to +1. So mula pa sa inyong value sa r sa +1 or -1, so something wrong with your computation. So you have to recompute it. E base na mo yung mga entries nga na wrong og type or na kulangan. Okay. So r can be interpreted as follows. If r is exactly +1 or r is exactly -1, so the interpretation of that is there is a perfect linear relationship and all points lie in the straight line. So if your r close to +1, let's say r is equal to +0.99, r is equal to 0.78, or r is equal to 0.89. So these are the example when r close to +1, and so on and so forth. So the interpretation of that is there is a high positive linear relationship between two variables, x and y. So that is, if the value of x increases as the y increases. Okay. So third one is an r close to -1. So when we say r close to -1, example, r is equal to -0.99, r is equal to -0.75, or r is equal to -0.69. So the interpretation of that is there is a high negative linear relationship between the sample values. So that is, the value of x decreases as the value of y increases. So here, number 4, an r near 0. So when we say r near 0, it could be r is equal to positive 0.43, or r is equal to negative 0.35, or r is equal to 0.38, or r is equal to negative 0.01. So if this is your r, so it means that there is a lack of linearity between the two variables. When we say lack, it is weak. So if your r is exactly 0, so the meaning of that, or the interpretation of that, there is no linear relationship between them. Scatter diagram is a graphical presentation of the independent variable, the x, plotted on the horizontal axis, and the dependent variable, the y, plotted on the vertical axis. Through this graph or diagram is the easiest way to determine if a relationship exists between the two variables. So the following figures are the scatter diagram showing the different types of linear relationships. The first figure shows that as your x increases, then the value of y also increases. So this is an example of direct linear relationship. So in this case, our r is close to positive 1. When we say close to positive 1, so there is a high positive linear relationship between x and y variables. So the next figure is inverse linear relationship. As your x decreases, then your y increases. So this one, your r is close to negative 1. So when we say close to negative 1, so there is a high negative linear relationship between x and y variables. Third figure shows no linear relationship. So as your r becomes smaller, the distribution of points cluster less closely around the line, and it becomes virtually 0. So your r becomes virtually 0. So it indicates that there is no linear relationship between x and y variables. The fourth figure also shows no linear relationship. So this figure shows a neat curvilinear relationship between the variables, and it can be verified that its linear relationship coefficient will be below or near 0. So it is your r near 0. So this indicates that the linear relationship between x and y is what? Is weak. Sample coefficient of determination, denoted as r squared, is a number that determines the total variation in the values of variable y that can be accounted for or explained by the linear relationship with the values of the variable x. It is usually expressed as percentage. So for example, you have r is equal to 0.60. So, in getting the sample coefficient of determination, simply squared your r. So, 0.60 squared. Since it is expressed as percentage, so you have to multiply this by 100%. So, is equal to 36%. So, the interpretation of this is that 36% of the total variation of y can be explained by its linear relationship with variable x. The last topic in this chapter is simple linear regression. Regression analysis is a statistical method which makes use of the relationship between two or more quantitative variables so that one variable called the dependent variable or response variable, that is y, can be predicted with the knowledge of the values of the other variable called the independent variable, that is the x. So the mathematical equation of this analysis is y is equal to a plus b times x, where x is the independent variable, then the b is the slope of the regression line, a is the constant or the y-intercept of the regression line, and y is the dependent variable. So regression analysis deals with finding estimates of the constants a and b so that once an estimate of the constant is found, a value y hat can be predicted from known value of x through the regression equation. So this is the regression equation of the estimated. So y hat is equal to a hat plus b hat times x, where x is the independent variable. Then the b hat is the slope of the regression line or the least square estimate of the parameter b. Then a hat is the y-intercept or the least square estimate of the parameter a, and y hat is the predicted dependent variable. Okay, so to solve for b hat, so this is the formula of getting the b hat, where n is the sample size. This one is the sum of the product with the corresponding x and y values. This one is the sum of x values, the sum of y values, the sum of the squares of x values, and this one is the sum of x values squared. Okay, and this is the formula of getting the a hat. So a hat is equal to y bar minus b hat times x bar. So x bar is the mean of the x values. So the formula of that is 1 over n times the summation of x sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n. Then the b hat is this one, and the y bar is the mean of the y values. So that is y bar is equal to 1 over n summation of y sub I, where I is equal to 1 to n. So take note that this b hat is the slope of the regression line and a hat is the y-intercept of the regression line. For example, a person's muscle mass is expected to decrease with age. To explore this relationship, a researcher randomly selected 10 persons from ages 40 to 79 years old and measured their muscle mass. So the result is as follows. So age is the x or the independent variable, then the muscle mass is the dependent variable or the y. So these are the results of 10 persons from ages 40 to 79. So based on the given data, we have to do the following. First, plot the scatter diagram of the given data. Second, find the sample coefficient of determination, r squared, and interpret the result. Third, obtain the regression line equation. Then the last one is you have to estimate the muscle mass when age of the person is 60 years old. Okay, for the solution, the scatter diagram of the given data is given below. So this is the y-axis. So since this is your y-axis, this is the muscle mass. And this is the x-axis. This is the age of a person. Okay. So since the age of a person is from 40 to 79, so we will start 40 here. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Then 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Okay, so we're going to plot this. 71, 82. So the 71 is here. Then 82 is approximately in here. Next is 6491. So 6491 is here. 6491. Okay, next is 43,100. 43, so approximately here, 100. Next is 67, 68. So this is 65, 66, 67 here. 68. Where is the 68? It's here. Okay. Next is 56, 87. 56, 87. Okay, next 73, 73. Okay, 73, 73, 73. So it's here, approximately here. Okay, next is 68, 78. 68, 78. So it's here. 78. So here. Approximately here. Next is 56, 80. So 56, 80. Next is 76, 65. 76, 65. So it's here. Okay, approximately here. Next is 65, 84. 65, 84. So it's here. No, it's here. Okay. So, as you can see, unsa man ni siya? Pa down. Okay. Since pa down siya, so it indicates a negative linear relationship between x and y variable. Okay, to solve for r squared, we have the following given computations. So this is the given. So this is your x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3 up to x sub 10. This is y sub 1, y sub 2, y sub 3 up to y sub 10. So to solve this one, to solve r squared, so we have to solve first the r. So in order to solve for r, we have to solve this one, and this one, and also this one. So first is we will solve the sum of x values. So in getting the summation of xi, so in getting that one, so we have to expand this one. So x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus up to x sub 10. So since x sub 1, so ato na siyang i-plus tanan. So the total is 639. Next is summation of y sub I, where I is equal to 1 to 10, is equal to y1 plus up to y10. So we will add all of this. So the total is 808. Next is summation of xi squared, where I is equal to 1 to 10. So x sub 1 squared plus x sub 2 squared plus up to x sub 10 squared. So 71 squared plus 64 squared plus 43 squared plus 67 squared plus 56 squared plus 73 squared plus 68 squared plus 56 squared plus 76 squared plus 65 squared is equal to 41,701. So next is the summation of y sub I squared. So we have to square each y values. So 82 squared plus 91 squared, 100 squared plus 68 squared plus 87 squared plus 73 squared plus 78 squared plus 80 squared plus 65 squared plus 84 squared is equal to 66,292. Then the summation of x sub I times y sub I, where I is equal to 1 to 10, 71 times 82 plus 64 times 91 plus 43 times 100 plus 67 times 68 plus 56 times 87 plus 73 times 73 plus 68 times 78 plus 56 times 80 plus 76 times 65 plus 65 times 84 is equal to 50,887. So now, since we have this one, so ato na din na siyang i-substitute diri. So R is equal to, our N is 10, then times 50,887 minus 639 times 808 over the square root of N is 10. Next, kani siya is 41,701 minus 639 squared times 10 times 66,292 minus 808 squared. Okay. So when we compute this one using the calculator, so the answer is negative 0.796, approximately to negative 0.796. So what is the interpretation of this? So the interpretation of that, indicating a negative linear relationship between x, or the age of a person, and y, or the muscle mass. So what is r square? So r square is equal to negative 0.796 squared times 100% is equal to, okay, when we compute this one using the calculator, we have 63.36%. So what is the meaning of this? So which means that 63% of the total variation of the muscle mass is explained or accounted for by the age of the person. Okay, so igana siya pag-interpret sa r squared. So next is, we have to solve the estimates B and A. So we have the following given. So before we will proceed in getting the regression line, this is the regression line, di ba? Mao ni ato ang gipangitaan ning letter C. Okay, para ma-solve na siya, ato sang kwaon ang estimates ni B and A. So unsa gani ang formula ni B kani, then the formula of A is kani. So to solve that one, mao ni ang given and computations. So again, this is the x sub 1, x sub 2 up to x sub 10. This is y sub 1 up to y sub 10, and all of them, ang n nila kay 10. So isolve na to. So kaon na po na to sa summation of xi. So the answer is 639. The summation of y sub I, then the answer is 808. Then the sum of the squares of x values is equal to 41,701. The sum of the squares of y values is equal to 66,292. And the sum of the product of the corresponding x and y values is equal to 50,887. So ato na siyang isolve karon. So ato po dayon kwaon ang y bar. So ang y bar is equal to 1 over n summation of x sub I. So just substitute 1 over 10 times 808 is equal to 80.8. Then the x bar is equal to 63.9. So to get b hat, so ato lang i-substitute tong ato mga na-compute. N is 10. Then this one is 50,887 minus 639 times 808 over 10 times 41,701 minus 639 squared. So b hat is equal to, okay, what is the answer of b hat? If we use the calculator, so it equal to negative 0.8564852112, or approximately equal to negative 0.8565. So our a hat is y bar is 80.8 minus katong original nga kuan nga answer, so negative 0.8564852112 times 63.9. So the answer is 135.5294. Okay. So, what is the regression line now? Na naman tayo a hat o b hat. So, ato ang y hat is equal to 135.5294 plus ang ato ang b hat kay negative 0.8565 times x. So, positive times negative is equal to negative. So, y hat is equal to 135.5294 minus 0.8565 times x. So, this is the regression line of this data. Okay, so unsa man ang explanation kung negative ang ato ang slope. Okay, negative man atong slope, di ba? Di ba atong slope kay b hat, ang slope nato is negative 0.8565. So what is the interpretation of that? So the negative slope indicates that as the person gets older, the muscle mass decreases. Okay. So how about this letter D, the predicted muscle mass of a person who is 60 years old. So atong gamiton karon ang ato ang estimated regression line. Sa ito 135.5294 minus 0.8565x. So ang x dire kay si 60. So y hat is equal to 135.5294 minus 0.8565 times 60 is equal to 84.5 1454 or approximately 284 units. Okay, so the predicted mass of a person who is 60 years old is 84 units. Okay, so the calculator with stat mode, computation of the R and B hat or and A hat are possible. So you have to refer to your manual or search it at YouTube and calculate the given example, then compare the results. Thank you for listening.